the Nigerian Football Federation has appointed Eric Chelle, former manager of Mali. I think he's French, Ivorian or something, and I'll quickly dive into that. I think this is the first time I'm actually giving my opinion on the man that is Eric Chelle. And for me, I've seen a lot of people with opinions, certain people saying, oh, Eric Chelle is not the man for the job. If we're going to go for a foreign manager, is it the manager of Mali? You know, a lot of people have been saying a lot of things about Eric Chelle. You know, I think I've heard more negative stuff than positive. You know, people saying, oh, how many reputable teams has he coached? He has coached Mali and this and that. And I feel like people are not being too reactive, if not taking time to study the man that is Eric Chelle. As far as I'm concerned, I think that considering the circumstances, this is probably one of the best we could have gotten. I need people to remember that if you've been following the situation of the Nigerian of the Super Eagles managerial job for like the past year, since Jose Peseiro left after AFCON, it's been I don't want to swear, but I don't want to use swear word, but it's been a very terrible situation. I was going to use the S word. It's in the S show. You get what I'm saying? So it's been just you know, chopping and changing, bringing back Austin Eguavoen, saying and then while he's interim, he still holds the job as the NFF technical committee member, you know, all those stuff. So there's been Finidi George, who was manager for a couple of months, didn't really get good results. There's been Bruno Labbadia, who never even became manager, who was announced as manager but did not become manager. Basically, the manager who never was. You know, there's been who else? There's been a couple of managers that have come in, and you know, the situation is not very good. So I think Nigerians have sort of overrating the abilities of the NFF and the country itself to attract, you know, good managers as of this moment. Knowing the issue of the NFF, before we even go into the situation of the Super Eagles now, knowing the issue of the NFF with owing managers, the NFF has a history of owing, you know, the NFF, when Genotro, current manager of Benin Republic, was coaching Nigeria, the NFF at some point was owing him up to 7 months' salary. It is documented. You can make your research and go look for it, you know. And then when they sacked him, there was news that they were supposed to pay a severance package to terminate his contract, and even then they could not pay him off immediately. They were still paying him his arrears. The money was being owed before he was sacked, and then that's salary overdue, and then still paying together with his severance package, all joined together, and they were going to pay that money instrumentally, you know. So when you look at these things, Eric Chelle is, I for lack of a better word, I wouldn't say low budget, but is the best we can get right now, except we are going to get a local coach. So, but as far as foreign coaches go, Eric Chelle is the best, because, you know, the same NFF contacted Hervé Renard, the man who coached Saudi Arabia to that famous 2-1 win over Argentina at the World Cup, and coached Saudi Arabia at the World Cup, has coached the French women's national team, has led Zambia and Ivory Coast, a very seasoned African manager. But when I heard it, I didn't think he was going to take the Super Eagles job. The man is too serious, comes off as a really serious person, too serious for all the mess that goes on in the NFF and Nigerian football. You know, I didn't even want him to stay in his whites, you know, by coming to coach Nigeria. No, I respect the man too much, and I'm happy for him that he didn't come to take the job. So Eric Chelle has come in. I think, as far as I'm concerned, most of what I know about Eric Chelle basically is his time with Mali at the AFCON, and I think if you watch the AFCON and you watch Mali at the AFCON, you know that they played really good football. Obviously, the players that Mali had I would say was part of the problem. They were obviously they're not as good as Super Eagles players, and I think at least for the people who, for example, said Jose Peseiro at AFCON, if we had played more attacking style, there is an Eric Chelle now who likes, probably opposite of type of football that Jose Peseiro plays. So I don't know why maybe those kind of people now, for example, maybe because they've not done their research, they should know that Eric Chelle is kind of the opposite of Jose Peseiro. He play good football, attacking football. I think the Super Eagles have the players, to execute that style of football. Eric Chelle, I think, like, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of us don't know a lot about the man Eric Chelle. Obviously, I think AFCON was probably his biggest stage. AFCON was what exposed him, and obviously that infamous pouring water on his head after Mali lost, all those things, and people still even reference, oh, is this the coach? Some Nigerian football fans, analysts, they say, oh, is this the kind of coach we want to bring to the Super Eagles? The job is too big for him. I think people should rally behind Eric Chelle because, like I said, this is the best we can get if we are talking about a foreign coach. There is this repeated narrative that the NFF cannot pay foreign coaches, which is true. So I don't know, maybe people don't know this, or they choose to not be realistic. But again, as far as coaches go, foreign coaches go, Eric Chelle is the best man we can get right now, as far as I'm concerned. So I think we should not dwell on that for too long. Let's see what the man can do. Let's see. He's coming into a really tight situation, because he was appointed in January, I think, and there's not really any time for any friendlies or anything. He's going straight into action with the World Cup qualifiers. Two matches in March, one against Rwanda, one against Zimbabwe, I think. So it's a do or die situation, basically. He has not had there's no honeymoon period for him. He's going to be criticized immediately. Trust Nigerian football fans. He's going to be criticized immediately. Meanwhile, the first 4 games that we couldn't win any one of was not, of his doing. So he's coming to a really tight situation. So I'm actually concerned for him. I hope that he is very aware of what is getting into, because Nigerian football fans can be unforgiving, let me just say. So yeah, I think tactically, I've said I saw Mali play good football, but sometimes they can play good football and maybe the players are just not. And Mali, I think they got to the quarterfinals, but they got to knockout stages basically. So, but for people saying he has coached Mali or whatnot and this and that, it's like, well, one of the greatest Nigerian managers ever, Stephen Keshi, coached Togo to the World Cup. So if you say Mali is not reputable enough, I mean, what would you say about Togo? And so Stephen Keshi achieved exploits with Togo and then coached Nigeria, and we won AFCON. The rest is history. Everything. So we should not judge him by the fact, he's coached Mali. He's still building a profile as a manager, by the way, as well. So Nigeria might just be where he achieves great things. I hope for him to achieve great things, because I'm very worried because he has not really had much time. Obviously, he has met with some Nigerian players abroad and all that, but he has not really had much time to. He has not had the honeymoon phase. He has not had any friendly, because he's straight into action. So, and honestly, I would say give him some grace if the situation was different. But I ain't gonna lie, this situation doesn't warrant any grace, because it is a do or die. We have to win. We have 6 games left in that World Cup qualifiers, and we have to win. If we're going to get the automatic spot, we have to win at least 5. That's just the reality. And we have South Africa away. South Africa are improving over the past year. That's a really difficult game. Couldn't beat them in Nigeria when they came. So the games that we really flopped were the sad ones. Drawing at home to Lesotho, losing to Benin away. So I think people should give grace to, people should be a bit patient with Eric Chelle, at least until the first game, first set of games. Don't castigate the man. Yeah, let's see what he has to offer. So let's see what Eric Chelle has to offer very soon, and then from there we'll see if truly he is the man for the job. Well,